Welcome back to Dark Fables. This is my third episode, and this one is called The Frog and the Princess. At some point in history, a gorgeous young princess was walking through fields towards a large pond. This was a pretty little area she had always enjoyed walking to since she was a little girl. Now, a young woman. She had fond memories of going there with her mother, who sadly passed away a few years ago. Now she visited the pond, relishing in the memories of the two of them going together, carrying with her the last present her late mother gave her, a golden ball with their names inscribed into it. The young princess was someone who had a lot of energy and loved playing, especially with her favourite golden ball. Up into the air she would throw it, as high as she could, then try to catch it when it fell down fast to earth. Most of the time, she would catch it, though many times she was unable to. And this was one such time. The problem here, she was too close to the pond, so instead of it landing by her feet as normal, it landed on a rock, bounced, then went splash into the dirty water. "My ball!" shouted the princess, tears forming behind her eyes. "Whatever shall I do?" she said in desperation. "Perhaps I can help," said a croaky voice nearby. "Who is there?" inquired the princess. "I can't see you." "Down here," came the reply, to which the princess's eyes turned towards the sound, locking onto a large frog. Hello?" said the princess, quizzically. "Hello there," said the frog. "You are a frog that talks?" "Kind of. I was turned into a frog. I used to be a man, General Obi, before which we were hunting down before the king put this horrible curse on me." The princess believed the frog. "That is terrible," but then shifted back onto her own selfish thoughts. "Would you be able to get my ball for me?" The frog looked at her disappointingly, then proposed, "I'll get your ball if you can do me a favour." "What is it?" "It's an act of kindness beyond what is due or usual. However, that is not important right now. I would like for you to kiss me, to turn me back into a man and break the curse." The princess turned up her nose. "Yuck! Ugh, no way! Do you know who I am?" "Yes, the daughter of the king, who has a ball stuck at the bottom of this dirty pond. Do you want your ball back?" The princess squirmed awkwardly. "Yes, I need it back." "Do we have a deal?" asked the frog. "A counter-offer," said the princess. "I will only kiss you if I can bathe you first." "Sounds good to me," said the frog enthusiastically. With that, the eager frog dived into the pond, swimming to the very depths to find the ball. After a minute, he emerged from the water with a golden ball in his mouth. The princess ran over and snatched the ball from his mouth. "Thank you ever so much," then started wandering off. "Oi!" shouted the frog. "You've forgotten our bargain!" He was hopping madly after her. The princess turned her nose up at the frog. "I'm a princess. I shouldn't have to make deals to any of my subjects to do what I want. Good day." And with that, she ran off, clutching hard in her hands the ball the frog had retrieved for her as part of their deal. Later on that evening, the princess was getting ready for bed in her chambers. She was looking in the mirror at her lovely nightgown and brushing her long golden hair, when out of the corner of her eye she saw something in the window. It was the frog. She turned at him in anger. "Get out of here!" The frog growled, as much as one can try to be as intimidating to a taller human, back at the princess. No, not until you honour your side of a bargain." The princess moaned in anger. "Why should I? Who cares if you remain a frog?" The frog barked back. "I care, and you said you would. Or is your word as a princess worth nothing?" A wave of frustration, then acceptance, came over the princess. "Okay then, but first we wash you." "No," said the frog. "You'll just trick me like before and lock me up somewhere or run off. Just hurry up and kiss me so I can be human again." "Fine," said the princess. And with that, she leant over to the window where the frog was sat, and gave him a little kiss. Suddenly, his body changed to that of a fully grown man. Now, frogs don't normally wear clothes, so once he was suddenly human, he was completely and utterly naked. Being a princess who hadn't really started courting by a fair suitor, this was her first glance at a naked man, let alone a good-looking and healthy one, which took her by surprise. So much so that she initially let out a loud scream before gaining her composure. "Oh, wow," she said, blushing. "Oh, I'm so sorry for being mean to you. I should have been nicer to you." "Really?" came back the now good-looking man. "Now you want to be nice to me?" At that moment, the king burst through the door with 2 armed guards. "Stop!" shouted the guards. The man turned towards the king. "Hello there!" The king recognized the man immediately. "General Kenobi," he said. "What in the blazes are you doing with my daughter's chamber completely naked?" "Well, funny story," he started. "That witch you sent me to kill cursed me into a frog. I met the princess at the nearby pond and offered to get her ball that she dropped in the water in exchange for breaking the curse." The king looked bemused. "Is this true?" he asked of his daughter. "Oh, yes," she said, still blushing, and now staring at the naked man before her. "Not the whole story," said the general, "for she originally broke the deal after I gave back the ball. It's only through following her back into her chambers she actually followed through and gave me the kiss." The king looked disappointed. "I see. Is this true, daughter?" The princess looked at her feet. "It is true, father. Sorry, but I see the mistake I made. I mean, look at him. He'd make a fine husband." The frog turned back into a man, looked at her in disgust. "You are a horrible human being. I don't care if you are the princess. You're a selfish, entitled brat. I would never marry you." The princess, not used to being told to, burst into tears and ran off crying. The general looked at the king. "I'm sorry to be so blunt, but she wasn't kind to me until she saw what I looked like as a human. How can the people serve such a person?" The king glared at him. "They won't ever know that side of her. Only what we tell them." "What do you mean?" said the general. "Guards," ordered the king, "take this man to the dungeon. He is to be executed tomorrow for trespassing, treason, and disturbing the peace." "No!" he cried. "I won't tell anyone. Your daughter's reputation is safe. I'm sorry." "That is not a risk I am willing to take. My daughter always comes first." And with that, he was dragged off, kicking and screaming, down to the dungeon for his last night as a man. The moral here? Perhaps we should be kind to those who are willing to help us, as it can all go horribly wrong if you aren't. Also, be careful with who you upset, even if they deserve it. There's a time and a place to call out those who do wrong. Make sure you act tactfully. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. And if there are any particular fables you want me to do in future, then please leave a comment. Or if there's any feedback you want to give me, positive or negative, I don't mind at this stage, just leave a comment. Hope you've enjoyed, and hopefully see you again next week.